Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Dude is behind the camera, and we're all about simple food, simple faith. We are making chicken laksa today, and we are using a shortcut method that brings all the flavors without all the work. First things first, we're going to soak our noodles. I am using a rice vermicelli noodle, and I'm just soaking these in room temperature water. We want to soak them for about 15 minutes. And I use room temperature water so that we can kind of control how soft they get and that they won't get over soft. And we still have to cook them for a few minutes, not even a few minutes, a few seconds in boiling water. But for now, we're just going to set this aside. Next, we're going to get our soup going. So the shortcut is I am using a laksa paste. And the reason for that is that it takes a lot of work to make a paste. I've done it from scratch for many years. It wasn't until Dude's mom would go back to Malaysia and bring back this same brand of paste on her trips there. But now you can get them here. We will have a link to the paste in the description below, but of course it is always cheaper to buy it locally. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe for more simple food ideas. Just getting my stove heated up to a medium. I think I'm not supposed to leave it dry, so I'm gonna put the paste in right away. I'm using the whole pack. Laksa is like a curry, spicy soup that we serve with noodles. And if you've never had it before, it is just a burst of intense flavors. It's amazing. I just want to stir fry this for about a minute just to get the flavors going. I'm going to add 4 cups of chicken broth. You don't have to use chicken broth, you can use all water. I like the added flavor. I'm also adding about 1.5 cups of water. You can use all chicken broth if you want. I just didn't want to open another pack. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. So if I was making this from scratch, I would be making the chicken stock from scratch and using the chicken that I've used to make the stock. But today, we are thankful for Costco and their roast chicken. So I just shredded the chicken meat from there. I'm only using the chicken breast today because we're only making a few bowls. That's what makes it a shortcut. To add a little bit more flavor, I am using 2 stalks of lemongrass. I've already cut the bottom off a little bit to take off the dry part, and I've removed 1 layer of lemongrass. And now I'm just going to bruise it. And add that to the soup. Sorry, I'm going to chop off a little bit so that it fits into the pot a little bit better. While the soup is going, we're going to get the rest of our ingredients ready. So I have 1 lime, and I'm just going to cut this up into quarters, and this is for adding at the end. So when it's all put together, you can squeeze some lime into the soup and your noodles, and it just adds a little bit of freshness. I also have just a small bunch of cilantro for, again, just added freshness. The lime actually adds some acidity, but the cilantro will add just the yummy flavor. If you don't like cilantro, you totally can omit that. If you don't like cilantro, my mother-in-law likes to use garlic chives, so you can use that instead of the cilantro. I'm using about 1/3 of an English cucumber. English cucumber, I think it's also called a seedless cucumber, and I'm just going to cut it up into matchsticks, so julienne. Once your soup is simmering, we're going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes. I'm also using tofu puffs, and these are quite common in laksa, and they're great because it will soak up the soup, and every bite you get like this bite of tofu with a burst of soup in your mouth. So good. I'm using the whole pack, and I'm going to cut them in half. I also washed some bean sprouts that I'm going to blanch. And you don't have to, if you like them a little bit crunchier, you can let the soup kind of heat them through. And like I said earlier, I am using a Costco rotisserie chicken. So I just shredded the breast meat. I still have the legs left for another day. All right, so you see all that red stuff that was on top of the soup. That's the spiciness. So we don't handle spice very well, so I'm gonna scoop out most of it, and you can leave it in if you like it hot. But if not, you can scoop it out and you're still getting a super flavorful soup without all the spiciness. We're adding a whole can of coconut milk and the tofu pockets. And we're gonna let that heat through. So this pot of soup, including the tofu puffs, costs altogether $12. This will make 6 to 8 bowls of laksa. So that already is like a humongous savings when you make it yourself. So altogether, it took me maybe half an hour to get all of the prep work done for the noodles, and now it's just assembling. I also boiled some eggs. Now this will add extra time if you're going to add eggs. This is a medium boiled egg, and you can do a whole batch at once and refrigerate the ones that you don't use if you don't peel them. Just put them in a container and put them in the fridge. And then we're gonna have laksa as leftovers tomorrow, so I'll already have had my eggs ready to go. So for the noodles, I maybe cooked them for like 30 seconds in hot boiling water. And I also blanched my bean sprouts, and I blanched them for also less than a minute. I'm gonna add our eggs first, because I just cut them. Look at that. Nice medium eggs with an oozing center. A little bit of bean sprouts. And the great thing is you can add as little or as much as you want of all the ingredients. Chicken in there. All right, adding the soup. You can add more tofu pockets as well. Totally up to you how much you want to add. So with all of the ingredients into the 1 bowl of laksa, it works out to be about $5 a bowl. That's including the soup. If you were to purchase it out and eat in a restaurant, it would be at least $16 per bowl. A piece of lime can just go here. And they can add as they like. Does that look amazing or what? Are you all ready for
the taste? I'm excited about this one, especially because this is the food of my people. If you didn't know, I was born in Malaysia, the land of yummy food. Squeeze some lime in there. The fragrance is so amazing. Oh, you know what? Gotta taste the broth first. Creamy, punchy, so much flavor, added flavor of the lemongrass. Get some of that noodle in there. Roast chicken from Costco. Tender, flavorful. Here's one of those tofu puffs that is like, I don't know what it'd be akin to, not like a Starburst, but savory goodness. The soup just flows out of it, awesome. Weekday exotic soup noodle, laksa, chicken laksa. You gotta do it.
Awesome, thanks dude. I only learned about laksa when I started dating Dude, and let me tell you, the explosion of flavor in my mouth the first time I tried it was just so amazing. I had to make it for him to impress him. And now, with the pace, it's easy peasy. For this recipe, check it out on FLO'S.com.